I'm your hostess, Blazewing, and you're listening to The Transitioning Pagan. Come join with me as I explore the world and leave gender barriers behind in an effort to follow the path set before me by the goddess. Who knows where we'll end up on this journey? I hope by the end of this podcast you will have a deeper understanding of me and the path that I choose to follow.
Lady on the road, not afraid to let go. I'll leave you just because I can. Ride alone just like a gypsy man. Just Django and the lamb. Not about to let go this road, at least not until I know. Miss a beat and you'll not find me where you did a month ago. For direction, singing, rising, how this tale unfolds. Gypsy journey with all the twists a caravan can hold. I will break your hungry heart and leave you just because I can. Ride on alone in this handbasket, gypsy and the lamb. Lady Vagabond hath come and come into her own, singing hi, 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 open roads home. Wild, I take each mile of road as much as I can get. You asked me if I'm lonely, well I haven't felt it yet. Wild, I'm singing up the moon and down the winds of change. Right on alone in this handbasket, your girl is passing strange. But Lady Vagabond hath risen and come into her own, singing hi, 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 open road is home. Chase its tail. Gas tanks full like a head of stories, and the road will never fail. My heart will never fail. A life that's full can never fail. My voice will never fail. Hear that lonely train whistle wail. Where I have been and where I'm bound, even the angels would not know. All four winds blow steady, singing high, the open road is home. For direction, singing, rising high, the open road. Lady Vagabond hath come and come into her own. Lady Vagabond hath risen and come into her own, singing high, 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 the open road is home. Open road.
Hey guys, you're listening to the Transitioning Pagan Episode 3. This was originally intended to air on November the 17th, 2012. Got a great show lined up for you today. This day is going to focus on Remembrance Day. And that's the main topic, Remembrance Day and my views and my takes. Basically, it's a rant. I ran into a few things this last week that I wasn't exactly impressed about, and it's an explanation of why Remembrance Day is so big for me. So, sit back, grab a cup of tea, grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of, vodka on the rocks, if that's what you drink to wake up. Sit back and enjoy. And I hope to see you all later.
If you'd like to contact me, you can do so in the following ways. I'm on paganspace.net as Blazewing, Blazewing. You can find me on Twitter at Blazewing2010, Blazewing2010. Facebook, you can find me at facebook.com/transitioningpagan, all one word. Email is blazewing@paganlife.ca. That's at PAGANLIFE.ca. And our website is http://paganlife.ca, PAGANLIFE.ca. If you have an event, on our website there is a place for community events. Please, by all means, let me know. I will put it up. If you have an event that you want advertised, I will also feature it in the podcast so everyone can hear it. So far on our community events board, we have upcoming Edmonton events, which is hosted by Northern Tribes, Radio Pagan Edmonton News and Events. And we have information on Pagan Pride Day, both from paganpride.org for Western Canada and Where Fairies Live. So if you have an event that you would like listed, by all means, let me know. I will throw it up. I will add it to our archives, and, away we go. I will also feature it on the podcast here, as I mentioned before. Basically, it's my way of getting news out. It's my way of informing people, this is what's going on. Even if you don't live anywhere near the Edmonton area, by all means, throw it in. I'll throw it on. And people in your area, if we have any listeners there, can hear it as well. I don't care if you're in, say, Oregon, or if you're in China, or if you're in Timbuktu, or hey, you could be on Mars. If you live on Mars, throw me an email. I will list your pagan events on Mars. Email again is blazewing@paganlife.ca. Looking for any and all information I can get my hands on it. This is an information podcast. This is a way to inform people and educate. So, as I mentioned last episode, I am and currently still am looking for somebody to fill roughly about a 10 to 15 minute slot for a segment. You'll get your own bio page and a description of your segment and whatnot. I'm looking for somebody who can commit to every 2 weeks. If you're interested, send me a sample of your segment. Send an intro to blazewing@paganlife.ca with a small text intro. I'm looking for basically an MP3 file with a bit of a text intro in the body email, letting me know what your segment is about. I'm looking for somebody who can teach basically either about something about the pagan way of life, or if you happen to be transitioning such as I am, then you are most welcome to give that aspect of your life as well. This is, after all, the transitioning pagan, transgender pagan, that sort of thing. Basically, I'm looking for somebody who is willing to give out their knowledge for absolutely nothing. Somebody who is willing to teach. If you think this is you, then by all means, like I said, drop me a line. I look forward to hearing from you all. So when I put out the podcast advertisement 2 weeks ago, I wasn't sure it was good enough, and I went ahead and mentioned some of this on Twitter. And one of our listeners actually got back to me, Miss Witchy, and said that I need to stop second guessing myself. And I just wanted to throw a shout out to you there and let you know that yeah, you're absolutely right. Basically, I need to learn to follow my gut instinct, and I need to learn to trust myself. I'm glad that you enjoyed our intro, our advertisement, and if anybody listening to this podcast would like to include that advertisement within their own podcast, you are more than willing to take it. Just take a look back through our archive. You should be able to find it. It'll say podcast intro or podcast advertisement. More than welcome to snag that. It is also on iTunes, so you can download it there. And also, if anybody
would like any podcast advertisements or promos put in this podcast, I am more than willing to do that. I actually enjoy hearing all of your different promos through various podcasts, such as, From the Edge of the Circle. Frog in my throat today. I don't know if I can't remember if the Weekly Way does it anymore. But again, promos, I love them. Want to play them. So if you have them, send them in. If you want them, take mine. I've officially completely caught up on all of the Wiggly and Way episodes, and that was quite a task. There's 108 episodes roughly of the Wiggly and Way, and I've completely caught up all of their backlog. Now I'm working on From the Edge of the Circle, and to my knowledge, there's like 132 of those. So that kills roughly about 240 of my 1,068 podcast episodes to go that I've got downloaded on my backlog. I'll keep you guys up to date on how I'm doing with that. It's quite a daunting task, but I look forward to listening to my podcasts at work when I have the time. Once I'm done the 1,000 and some odd episodes, I'm also going to be looking for recommendations. So, if you have a podcast that you absolutely love and you would like me to listen to, by all means, send it in. If I like it, it'll get thrown up under the featured podcast link section on the website. I'm looking at taking our forums and creating a section specifically for archived podcasts, those podcasts that are no longer out there, that are no longer recording or putting out new episodes, and they will all be put under there, the ones that I've listened to anyways. But speaking of the forums, don't forget to check them out. There is a link on the main website. If you go down past the RSS feed, past the calendar, past recent posts to connecting with others, there is a link there that says forums. I have spent a bit of time getting a set of forums up and running. It's not much to look at yet, and you do have to create an account to get into it, but creating the account is free. I do not charge for that. This is simply for security reasons. We have only a couple of sections at the moment, but I'm looking for people to basically give suggestions as to what they want to see. I hope to see these forums grow. I'm basically looking to create a bit of a sense of community and communication boards. If you have information that you want somebody else to have, this would be the place to do it. I'm looking to turn the website essentially into an information database. So let's take a walk through of the forums. On the main page, on the main forum segment, and if you're not signed in, you'll simply see a topic that says Introduction. This is for all registered and non-registered members alike. It'll contain rules, updates, and a list of mods and admins. So if you're looking for basically guidelines and who's in charge, that's where to go. That's all you'll see if you're not logged in. Then we have our General tab. Our General tab is anything to do with general chat. If you think a topic belongs there, by all means, let an admin or mod know, and we'll look at adding it. Within the General tab, we have Spamzilla. If you have any links or advertisements, that's where that'll all go. Then we have our Coffee House, which is for just idle chit-chat, anything basically off-topic. Back up on the main page, we have our Book of Shadows. I'm looking to turn this into a collective from all the board users. If you have something you want to display publicly in a Book of Shadows, this would be the place to do it. Any member has access to this. Any member can use it. I am going to look at turning off comments and whatnot so people... I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I turn off comments or should people be able to add? Let me know. For right now, I'll leave it as is, and if I get feedback, I will take it under consideration and adapt as I see fit. For right now, all we have under the Book of Shadows is basics. Basically, for the basics of the craft, it's a need-to-know guide. And then back up on the main topic, we have our Sabbats. This is something that I'm going to be looking at filling in if you have information that belongs under a certain section. I've got to go ahead and add sections to this, but if you have something that belongs under a certain Sabbat, let us know, or you can add it yourself. By all means, like I said, I'm looking to turn this into an information database, and I hope to see this grow beyond all belief. I hope that this just sort of expands exponentially at some point. But only time will tell. Again, this is a bit of a project to fill time and see where things go. So that was a brief introduction to our forums. If you have any feedback, I will be creating a section for that. It'll probably be under the general tab. So again, for right now, just send your feedback to blazewing@paganlife.ca until I get those tabs up and running, which will probably be done sometime either this week or next week. For music this episode, I actually went ahead and purchased the first CD I've ever had for podcast libraries. And the CD that I've purchased is Sirens by S.J. Tucker. I have absolutely no idea what songs I'm going to be playing as of yet, as I'm still currently converting files and whatnot and getting them ready for podcast. But any songs featured in this episode you can find on the Sirens CD by S.J. Tucker.
I'm in love with the goddess who lives down the street. I got clouds on my agenda and a spring in my feet. And I wonder if she knows, I am smiling at strangers like I usually will. Like a cat with a canary who will surely fit the bill. And I wonder if she knows, What am I thinking? I got too much to do. I got no time to go running after dreams or chasing after you. But there's this sleepy sense that everything's gonna work out right. May I visit you tonight? Starlight, star bright, I am in love with the goddess who lives down the street. Oh, the girl may work at Waffle House, but she doesn't miss a beat. And I wonder if she'll hear what I propose. 'Cause I just wanna make her happy. No, I don't wanna lay no claim. If there's damage to be done, I am no good at taking blame. And I wonder if she knows, Starlight, star bright, I am in love with the goddess who lives down the street. I got clouds on my agenda and a spring in my feet. And I wonder what she knows, if she knows. 'Cause I could always buy her coffee, but she'd see straight through the ploy. And I'd love to walk beside her in the place of all those boys. And I wonder if she knows,
Welcome to Kitchen Witchery. I've got a couple of recipes for you this week. The first one are actually good for potlucks or just for appetizers if you're entertaining a bunch of people. Chicken garlic bites. And the one after that is actually for dessert. Again, good for potluck. Most of my recipes, if you're in need of something for potluck, you can usually take. Super peanut-filled brownies. So let's get started, shall we? First, we're going to start with the chicken garlic bites. You're going to need to start off with 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts cut into bite-sized pieces. You're going to need half a cup of olive oil, 4 cloves of garlic minced, not a bulb, but cloves, the things that basically form the bulb. 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs, and 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, you're going to take the chicken and you're going to place it in a shallow dish. In a small bowl, you're going to mix the olive oil, the garlic, and the black pepper together. Then you're going to take this mixture and you're going to pour it over the chicken. You're going to cover and you're going to let it marinate for roughly about 30-ish minutes. And then you're going to drain it, and you're going to preheat your oven to 475. You're going to mix your breadcrumbs and your cayenne pepper together, and then you're going to coat the chicken in it. Arrange in a single layer on a cookie sheet and bake roughly about 10 minutes or until it turns out brown. And for the super peanut filled brownies, you're going to need 2 ounces of unsweetened high quality chocolate. Oh, I should tell you, preparation time for this recipe is roughly about 30 minutes. Total time for cooking is roughly about 1 hour. And it'll make roughly about 10 servings. When I pulled the recipe, I managed to get some information for it. So, anyways, you're going to need roughly about 2 ounces of unsweetened high-quality chocolate. I find chocolate chips, semi-sweet chocolate chips, work just fine for this. But if you want to stick directly to the recipe, again, feel free to modify these recipes as you want. You're going to need half a cup of unsalted butter, 2 eggs, 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of flour, 1/2 cup of, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, 1/2 ounce of semi-sweet chocolate, roughly about half a square. Filling is going to be 1 1/2 cups of powdered sugar, 1/2 cup of creamy peanut butter, 1/4 cup of unsalted butter softened, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. The glaze for these is going to consist of 1 ounce of semi-sweet baking chocolate and 1 tablespoon of butter or 1 tablespoon of margarine. Either or works in this case. Then again, I'm also known for switching out margarine, when butter is called for, especially if I don't have the butter. Now you're going to preheat your oven to 350, and in a small saucepan, you're going to melt the unsweetened and semi-sweet chocolates with butter over low heat and set aside to cool slightly. In a mixing bowl, you're going to beat the eggs and sugar until light and pale colored, and then you're going to mix in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. You're going to add the flour, salt, and melted chocolate. And then you're going to stir it basically just to combine it a bit. You're going to pour it into a greased 9-inch square baking pan and bake at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes or until the brownies test done with toothpick. Basically stick a toothpick in them. If it comes out clean, they're good to go. You kind of want moist crumbs clinging to it, so you don't want this gooey, icky mess. You want these little soft but completely cooked bits coming off on the toothpick. Don't overbake these, and then you're going to want to cool them. For the filling, you're going to add the peanut butter and butter in a mixing bowl and mix until thoroughly combined and smooth. You'll get a much taller filling if you whip this with an electric mixer to incorporate lots of air. Or again, it's totally up to you. That's just, sort of the way that I do things. You're going to slowly add powdered sugar. The mixture will be a bit crumbly. Blend in cream until mixture is fluffy and reaches the desired spreading consistency. Spread over the cooled brownies and cover and chill until firm. For the glaze, you're going to melt the chocolate and butter in a saucepan and stir until smooth. Drizzle over the filling and chill well before cutting. You want to let it sit at room temperature for about 10 to 15 minutes before serving, and you don't want to serve these ice cold straight out of the refrigerator. Now, along with this recipe, I actually got some nutrition facts. Again, this was a recipe a while back that I pulled off of food.com, so I'll give them a little bit of a plug there. I actually thought ahead and managed to pull out the nutrition facts with this. Per 1 serving size, you have 453.4 calories. You have 253 calories from fat. Total fat per serving, 28.1 grams, which is roughly about 43% of your daily intake. Saturated fat, 14.6 grams, roughly about 73% of your daily intake. Your cholesterol is 80.9 milligrams, or 26%. Your sugars are 40.4 grams. Sodium, 176.5 milligrams, or roughly about 7%. Your total carbohydrates, 49.4 grams, or 16%. Daily fiber, 2.2 grams, or 9%. Sugars, 40.4 grams, or 161%. So you're getting more than enough sugars there. And protein is 6.3 grams, or roughly 12%. Anyways, Kitchen Witchery ran a little longer this time. I decided to give you guys something to actually sink your teeth into, something kind of delicious and yummy, and, everybody craves chocolate every now and then. So I figured that'd be something to throw out this week. So this has been Kitchen Witchery. I hope you enjoy these recipes. Again, the recipes will be posted in the show notes, which should be posted if you hover over podcast. It should bring up a drop-down menu and one of the options is Kitchen Witchery. Just click on that. It'll have every recipe that I've done on this show thus far. Just basically scroll through them and take a look and use the recipes to your convenience. Feel free to modify them. Feel free to add and delete stuff. Again, I'm giving these recipes to you guys so you can use them as you see fit. So again, this has been Kitchen Witchery, and I hope you enjoyed the deliciousness. I'm going to duck back into our herbs and oils segment, and I'm going to get a couple of oils for you guys. This comes from Llewellyn's Complete Formulary of Magical Oils. It's got over 1,200 recipes, potions, and tinctures for everyday use. I'm basically, this time around, just picking 2 random oils from the book, and I'm going to give them to you. If you have an oil or a herb that you would like to feature on the podcast, by all means, send me an email at blazewing@paganlife.ca and let me know. I would more than love to feature you guys on this podcast and hear what you have to say. If you would like to do a bit of a voice clip, by all means, send me an MP3. I'll throw it on. So anyways, the first oil that I have for you is called Happy Time Oil, or Happy Times Oil. It's 1/3 part orange, 1/3 part vanilla, and 1/3 part violet. This potion is used to change luck, reverses unfortunate circumstances, and it also assists in eliminating poverty. And next we have Artemis Oil, which is 1/4 part lemon, 1/4 part rose, 1/8 part violet, 1/8 part narcissus, and 1/4 part ylang ylang. Carnation, you're going to put in just a few drops. It's used to worship or invoke the goddess, and it's used to attain goals and for luck in sports, especially for female athletes. So it's more, I'd class this more as a bit of a female potion. It's got those female aspects to it. And I think I'm actually going to do one more. For those of you that work with the moon, I have a full moon oil. This oil is actually titled Full Moon Oil 2. And it's 1/2 part jasmine, 1/4 part rose, 1/4 part sandalwood, lemon, a few drops, and you're going to add a moonstone to the bottle. And this potion, when used, helps bring any project that needs growth to come to fruition, such as love, fertility, and financial ventures. So I take a look into these, and if anybody would like to explain to me exactly how these work, exactly what the ingredients are generally used for, both apart and together, and their magical aspects, by all means, send it in. I will feature you on the podcast. The email again is blazewing@paganlife.ca. Remembrance Day, November the 11th, is a big time for me. It's a day that I take to honor those family members that have basically given a huge sacrifice so that I can be who I am today, so that I can live my life the way that I see fit. I have family members. My great-grandfather fought at Vimy Ridge and was buried alive for a week. I have 2 uncles. One was at the D-Day invasion. Another fought in Africa with General Montgomery's army against German General Rommel. My grandfather and his brother, so my grandfather and my great uncle joined the Canadian Army in 1926 at Citadel Hill in Halifax. And my grandfather and my great-grandfather were both in the British Army at Citadel Hill. They were sent back to England in 1926. So for me to have basically all of these family members who decided to basically give the ultimate, a lot of them decided to pay the ultimate price for us. And it's because of that that I hold November the 11th in such high esteem. It's a day of honor, it's a day of remembering, it's a day basically to pay homage. I came across a post the other day from a friend who does not celebrate Remembrance Day the same day I do. I'm not quite sure what to think. She doesn't even consider it a day worth mentioning due to the fact that she doesn't support wars, she doesn't support the fighting, even those who fight for a patriotic reason. For me, this kind of comes out as a slap in the face. I'm kind of the opinion that, if you don't stand behind our troops, you can stand in front of them. That is just my opinion. Somebody else may have a differing opinion, and that's completely all right. But for me, like I said, I am very firm and outspoken in my beliefs, and this is just one of those things. My grandfather at Vimy Ridge, there's a story that floats around our family, and my grandfather that fought at Vimy Ridge said he was sitting down, having a bite to eat with his buddy in one of the trenches, and he leaned over to say something to his buddy, and his buddy's head was just gone. His sandwich was being held up just like he was going to take a bite, but his head was missing. Apparently a sniper had shot him. Well, at that point, my grandfather decided he was not going to stick around for very long. Just sort of little stories like that. I mean, my grandfather didn't talk much about the war, but, I'm extremely proud of what these men have done, what these men have given. And if it had been a viable option at the time, I'd probably be serving in the military now. It's one of those things that when I think about it, it gives such a sense of awe-inspiring, and it kind of fills me up like a well, I started empty, and the water pours into the glass, and eventually I'm just full of all of this pride, and I can't help but honor these men. So anyways, recently I've been on a World War II kick. And I've gone and downloaded a few things. I've gone and gotten a few different types of a few different movies, and actually I found a TV show just recently. The TV show is called Bomb Girls, BOMBGIRLS. It's about the women during Second World War in a munitions factory, if I'm not mistaken. And there's only 6 episodes at the moment, but I can't wait to see it. It kind of piqued my interest, and I'm actually after I'm done editing this podcast, I'm going to be heading downstairs to see what all this fuss is about. Some of the war movies that I've seen actually include Enemy at the Gates, which was the story of Vasily Zaitsev in Russia facing off against German soldiers. Saving Private Ryan, which, I know it's a classic and it's kind of overdone. Valkyrie, which was about an assassination attempt on Hitler, and Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima, which was about the Battle of Iwo Jima. It was kind of a brutal and bloody battle. I'm not going to say too much for fear of spoiling these movies if you haven't seen them, but if you're looking for, good war movies, those are some movies I would suggest picking up. I've also got another list here that I'm going to be looking at downloading at some point. I basically went through archives and picked out 30 different movies that I wanted to take a look at, and I'm going to look at downloading them and watching them later. But I gotta wait until I get a bigger external hard drive because mine's kind of filling up. It kind of saddens me because every year I see less and less people, excuse my language, but I see less and less people giving a shit about those that fought for the right to be who they are. I see a terrifying number of people spitting on the same rights and freedoms that are drenched in the blood of our soldiers. It pisses me off to no end to see people say, sorry, I don't honor this day because I don't honor those who foolishly throw away their lives. You may not support the war or support the reasons for the war. You may not support the politicians who started the war, and believe me, I don't support the politicians who started the war. I don't even support the politicians who are in charge of the country at the moment. I think Harper is one of the evilest pieces of that we've ever seen. But we're not going to get into that. That's a different topic. The least you can do is honor those who gave their lives because they were basically told to. Those who rushed into battle because they were told to. They may not have wanted to, and I can guarantee you a lot of them didn't want to. I mean, who wants to die? You know, it's kind of daunting when you really think about it. I'm sick and tired of seeing people muddy up the name of Remembrance Day simply because they don't agree with politics. Like I said, neither do I, but that doesn't stop me from remembering those who gave their lives for me to be free. I mean, think about it. World War II, if we hadn't gotten involved, if the British hadn't gotten involved, then, you know, Hitler would probably rule the world. And it would be a very different place. I'm just saying. So, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, at this point, if you don't stand behind our troops, as a good friend of mine has said, then you can stand in front of them. That's just my little spiel on November the 11th, Remembrance Day, Day of Honor. You can take what you want from this. You can have your own opinions. This is just my opinion. This is Blazewing, and this has been episode 3. Earlier this week, I went and stood in the line for Call of Duty Black Ops 2. So, I've been kind of eager to play it all week, and between getting the podcast out and Call of Duty, I'm trying to learn how to split my week between that and work. So, I think after I'm done recording here, I'm going to end up going to play Call of Duty. I'm an avid gamer, and one of my friends has just said, you know, I'm a bit of a I've been upgraded to gamer girl status, so I'm going to go make him proud and whatnot. Anyways, this is Blazewing, this has been episode 3, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. See you in 2 weeks.
What?